Strap in, buckle up, and get ready to lay it on the line. This is Not Speeding, Just Qualifying, a podcast that's just as fast as it sounds. What's up, family? Happy Thursday. Welcome to an all-new episode of the Not Speeding, Just Qualifying podcast. I'm your host, David Lawrence. Thank you guys so much for putting me in your ears on this terrific Thursday. Before I get started with this episode, just a reminder to like and subscribe to the podcast on YouTube Music. Again, like and subscribe to the podcast on YouTube Music. Go to the page, the Not Speeding, Just Qualifying podcast, and you'll be able to like and subscribe and also share our podcast there as well. Last week, I talked to a crew member about what it's like working in the IMSA paddock. As I mentioned last week, crew members are unsung heroes who make the cars as competitive as they are. Today, I want to highlight a member of the crew that you may not know a lot about, but is so pivotal to the team's success, and that is the role of the strategist. In NASCAR, they're referred to as crew chiefs. These are the men and women that plan race strategies with race engineers, fitting because most strategists have engineering backgrounds. They enact the make or break decisions in a race, such as when to make those pit stops, amongst others. Jack Lepkowski is a strategist for Steur Racing, an Aston Martin customer team. Prior to last Friday's Michelin Pilot Challenge season opener, Jack took time to speak to me on the grid about his role and what he as a strategist looks for over the course of a race. Jack, thanks so much for joining me here on the grid for the Michelin Pilot Challenge. You are the race strategist for the number 15 Aston Martin Vantage GT4 for Steur Racing in the Grand Sport class. You guys have a 4-hour race. Tell me a little bit about the strategy you guys are implementing. Is it one of those, is it a tire change? Are you guys looking, of course, at least minimum 3 stops to make it. What's kind of the strategy like? What are you guys looking for over the course of these next 4 hours?
Yeah, for sure. So we're basically looking on all week we've been managing tire deg. Another huge aspect of the race is going to be fuel, basically how long you can go on fuel. So, we've been measuring that all week, and we basically have that information now compiled into essentially a plan A strategy. And, with the yellows and whatever else might happen in the race, we're going to take everything into account and just try to make the best decisions with the data and information available.
And with Michelin having some very nice tires, how much do tires play into everything?
Yeah, of course. So obviously some tracks have more deg than others, but the Michelin used in this series is designed really well, designed for a pretty consistent and predictable fall off. So you got to give your drivers the tools for the best possible outcome. As a strategist, you're always thinking about on what rubber you have, what rubber your drivers will need to be on for the stage of the race that you're at, and like I said before, just try to make the best decisions with the information available.
So for those who are not familiar with the series, Michelin Pilot Challenge races usually last 2 hours. This is one of 2 4-hour races you have on the season. With it being twice as long, what is probably the biggest thing you have to look at going from a 2-hour to a 4-hour?
Yeah, so the biggest thing is just staying on track. You can't win the race if you're not on track. So just keeping your nose clean for the first 3 hours. Hopefully you set yourself up for a pretty hectic and beneficial last hour. So just like any endurance race, you got to make it to the end.
Best of luck to Steur Racing today and all season long in the IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge. Appreciate the time, and go get them.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You heard Jack mention deg. Deg is short for degradation. In racing terms, this one applies to the tires. Degradation essentially is how quickly a tire wears down over its lifespan. I don't know about you, but knowing the life of your tires over the course of a race is some very valuable information that you need to know. Jack's car, as you heard in the interview, the number 15 Aston Martin, piloted by husband and wife duo Ben and Christine Sloss, went on to finish 18th in class, 2 laps down on Friday. Jack was also part of Steur Racing's number 19 GTD team for the Rolex 24. Team owner Rory van der Steur teamed up with Valentin Hasse-Clot and Maxime Robin, both of France, and Anthony McIntosh to finish 6th in class. My thanks to Jack for taking time to speak with me on the grid, and best of luck to all of van der Steur Racing for the rest of the IMSA season. Van der Steur Racing will be competing again when the IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge and WeatherTech Sports Car Championships reconvene in Sebring March 13th through the 15th for the Mobil 1 12 Hours of Sebring weekend. The 12 Hours of Sebring is the oldest endurance race in North America, with this being its 73rd year. Before I go any further, shout out to all the strategists up and down the pit lane. I don't think people understand just how much pressure strategists are on to strategize a race down to the very last detail. So many factors are involved. Plenty that are within your control, but there's plenty that's beyond their control. The entire team, even their drivers, essentially depending on their mindset, their brain, their knowledge to get them through to victory. And these men and women always deliver. To the strategists that come across this podcast, I respect y'all. I applaud y'all. Thank you for all y'all do in the garage to help play your part in making the racing amazing. Well, family, that'll do it for today's show. Tomorrow, I'm capping off 2 weeks of IMSA Sports Car Rolex 24 content by taking you along to see the Rolex through my own eyes. Yes, tomorrow I'm taking you along on my personal Rolex 24 journey, my audio diary over the course of the 24 hours itself. And with today's episode being a little shorter than regular, I'm pretty sure you guys won't mind tomorrow's being a little bit longer than our regular 15-20 minute duration. Until then, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on X. We're at NSJQ Podcast. You can also like and subscribe and share us on YouTube Music. You also can follow me on my personal handles. They'll be in the description box below. Thank you guys so much for listening. I cannot express enough how much I appreciate you guys listening to this podcast every day. I'm David Lawrence, and remember, you're not living life to the fullest until you're going flat out. So long, everyone.